17 black celebrities with HIV who had the most shocking final photos. They stood before millions as champions, musicians, actors, journalists, and cultural pioneers. But behind the applause, many were fighting an illness the world barely understood. Some kept their diagnoses private because exposure could destroy careers, relationships, and reputations. Others stepped forward, challenged deadly misinformation, and turned their suffering into messages that saved lives. From Arthur Ashe and Eazy-E to Sylvester, Fela Kuti, and Magic Johnson. These stories reveal how HIV changed Black history in ways the spotlight could never conceal. Stay until the end, because several final chapters remain widely misunderstood. Before we begin, subscribe to Golden Black Legends, turn on notifications, and tell us in the comments which courageous figure changed public understanding of HIV the most. Sylvester James Jr. was a groundbreaking singer whose voice, confidence, and fearless authenticity forever changed the landscape of disco and LGBTQ+ visibility in music. Born in Los Angeles, California in 1947, he began singing in church as a child before moving to San Francisco, where he embraced the city's thriving artistic and LGBTQ+ communities. Unlike many entertainers of his era, Sylvester refused to hide his identity or conform to traditional gender expectations. His glamorous style, extraordinary falsetto, and electrifying performances quickly made him one of disco's most unforgettable stars. International fame arrived with timeless hits such as You Make Me Feel Mighty, Real, Dance Disco Heat, and Do You Wanna Funk, songs that remain dance floor classics decades later. More than a performer, Sylvester became a symbol of self-expression for countless fans who finally saw someone succeeding without sacrificing authenticity. During the 1980s, however, the HIV/AIDS epidemic devastated the LGBTQ+ community, and Sylvester's life took a heartbreaking turn. In 1987, he publicly confirmed that he was living with AIDS, becoming one of the few internationally known Black entertainers willing to speak openly about the disease during a period filled with fear, misinformation, and stigma. Even as his health declined, he continued recording music, granting interviews, and advocating for compassion toward people living with HIV/AIDS. Rather than allowing illness to define him, Sylvester focused on leaving behind a meaningful legacy. Before his death, he arranged for future royalties from his music to benefit AIDS charities, ensuring his success would continue helping others long after he was gone. On December 16, 1988, Sylvester died at the age of 41 from complications related to AIDS. His passing marked the loss of one of disco's brightest pioneers, but his influence has only grown stronger over time. Today, he is remembered not only for his remarkable voice, but also for his extraordinary courage. Sylvester proved that true greatness comes from embracing who you are even when the world demands you become someone else. His music, resilience, and fearless honesty continue inspiring new generations around the globe. Arthur Ashe was much more than a tennis champion. He became a global symbol of dignity, perseverance, and compassion in the face of unimaginable adversity. Born in Richmond, Virginia, in 1943, during the height of racial segregation, Ashe overcame barriers that prevented many Black athletes from accessing elite tennis facilities. Through discipline, intelligence, and extraordinary determination, he rose to become one of the greatest players in the sport's history. His achievements included winning the 1968 US Open, the 1970 Australian Open, and the 1975 Wimbledon Championships, where he defeated defending champion Jimmy Connors in one of tennis's most memorable upsets. That victory made Arthur Ashe the first Black man ever to win the Wimbledon singles title, inspiring generations of young athletes around the world. After retiring from professional tennis because of recurring heart problems, Ashe underwent multiple surgeries. During one of those operations in 1983, he received a blood transfusion that unknowingly carried HIV. Years before, donated blood was routinely screened for the virus. He kept his diagnosis private to protect his family, but in April 1992, after learning that the media planned to reveal his condition without his consent, Ashe courageously held a press conference and announced that he was living with HIV. Instead of withdrawing from public life, he dedicated his remaining months to educating the public about HIV/AIDS, challenging misconceptions, and encouraging compassion rather than fear. He also founded the Arthur Ashe Foundation for the Defeat of AIDS, using his reputation to promote awareness and medical research. Arthur Ashe passed away on February 6, 1993 at the age of 49 from AIDS-related pneumonia. Although his life ended far too soon, his legacy reaches far beyond tennis courts and championship trophies. He remains remembered as a man of remarkable integrity who responded to personal tragedy with grace and purpose. His famous philosophy, "Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can," continues to inspire millions, proving that true champions are defined not only by victories but by the lives they uplift through courage and compassion. Magic Johnson. Earvin Magic Johnson is one of the greatest basketball players in history, but his most important victory may have come far away from the basketball court. Born in Lansing, Michigan in 1959, Johnson rose to fame after leading Michigan State University to the 1979 NCAA championship before becoming the first overall pick in the NBA draft. Joining the Los Angeles Lakers, he transformed professional basketball with his extraordinary passing leadership and infectious personality. During a remarkable 13-season career, Magic won 5 NBA championships, 3 NBA Most Valuable Player awards, 3 NBA Finals MVP awards, and earned 12 NBA All-Star selections. His rivalry with Larry Bird helped revive the NBA during the 1980s, making basketball more popular than ever before. To millions of fans, Magic represented success, confidence, and joy. Few could have imagined that his life was about to change forever. On November 7, 1981, Johnson stunned the world by announcing that he had tested positive for HIV and would retire immediately from professional basketball. At the time, HIV was widely misunderstood, and many people believed the diagnosis was an immediate death sentence. Instead of hiding, Magic courageously appeared before cameras explaining his condition and encouraging others to practice safe sex and become educated about HIV. His announcement transformed public awareness overnight. Millions who had previously associated HIV only with certain communities suddenly realized that the virus could affect anyone. Thanks to advances in antiretroviral therapy, Johnson was able to continue living a healthy, productive life while becoming one of the world's most recognizable HIV advocates. Over the following decades, Magic built an enormously successful business empire, became part owner of several professional sports teams, and donated millions of dollars through the Magic Johnson Foundation to support HIV education, healthcare, and underserved communities. More than 30 years after his diagnosis, he continues to demonstrate that HIV is no longer a certain death sentence when treated properly. Today, Magic Johnson's legacy extends far beyond basketball. His courage, optimism, and commitment to helping others transformed fear into hope, making him one of the most influential public health advocates in modern history. Eazy-E. Eric Lynn Wright, better known as Eazy-E, helped revolutionize hip-hop and forever changed the sound of West Coast rap. Born in Compton, California in 1964, he grew up in one of America's toughest neighborhoods, where violence and poverty shaped daily life. Determined to escape those circumstances, he invested his earnings into the music business and founded Ruthless Records. In 1987, he joined Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, MC Ren, DJ Yella, and Arabian Prince to form NWA, the groundbreaking rap group whose raw lyrics exposed police brutality, gang violence, and life in South Central Los Angeles. Albums such as Straight Outta Compton transformed hip-hop forever, while Eazy-E's distinctive voice and fearless personality made him one of rap's most recognizable pioneers. Although controversial, his music influenced generations of artists and helped bring gangsta rap into mainstream culture. In February 1995, Eazy-E was admitted to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles after experiencing severe breathing problems. Doctors diagnosed him with AIDS following complications from HIV infection. On March 16, 1995, he publicly released a heartfelt statement revealing his diagnosis, shocking fans and the music industry alike. Only days later, he urged young people to learn from his experience and protect themselves, transforming what could have remained a private tragedy into an important public health message. Despite receiving treatment, his condition deteriorated rapidly. On March 26, 1995, Eazy-E died from AIDS-related pneumonia at just 30 years old, leaving behind family, friends, and an enormous influence on hip-hop culture. Although his life was tragically brief, Eazy-E's legacy remains powerful. His music continues inspiring artists around the world, while his final public message encouraged greater awareness about HIV/AIDS during a period when misinformation and stigma remained widespread. More than 3 decades after his death, Eazy-E is remembered not only as the godfather of gangsta rap, but also as a man whose final days unexpectedly educated millions about a disease that was still poorly understood. His story stands as a lasting reminder that fame cannot protect anyone from illness, but honesty can help save lives. Kevin Peter Hall. Kevin Peter Hall became one of Hollywood's most unforgettable performers, despite often remaining hidden beneath elaborate costumes and special effects. Born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in 1955, Hall stood an incredible 7 feet 2 inches, 2.18 meters tall, making him one of the tallest actors in the entertainment industry. After playing college basketball, he turned toward acting, where his remarkable physical presence quickly opened unique opportunities. His most famous role came in 1987 when he portrayed the terrifying alien hunter in Predator, replacing the original creature design and helping create one of cinema's most iconic monsters. Hall also played the title character in Harry and the Hendersons, demonstrating remarkable emotional depth beneath layers of makeup and prosthetics. Although audiences rarely saw his face, his expressive movements and physical acting became essential to the success of both films. Tragically, Hall's promising career was cut short after a devastating medical accident. In 1990, he was involved in a serious automobile accident that required surgery. During treatment, he received a blood transfusion that unknowingly contained HIV-contaminated blood, an event that occurred before blood screening procedures had become fully effective everywhere. Following the transfusion, Hall developed HIV, which later progressed to AIDS. Despite declining health, he remained committed to his work and maintained an optimistic attitude among friends and colleagues. Those who knew him remembered not only his extraordinary talent, but also his warmth, humility, and generosity. On April 10, 1991, Kevin Peter Hall died at the age of 35 from AIDS-related pneumonia. His passing deeply saddened Hollywood, especially those who had admired both his professionalism and his kind spirit. Although his career lasted only a few years, his performances continue entertaining audiences worldwide. Every time viewers watch The Predator stalking through the jungle, or Harry the Sasquatch expressing childlike emotion, they witness Hall's extraordinary ability to bring unforgettable characters to life without relying on facial expressions alone. His legacy reminds us that some of cinema's greatest performances come from artists whose faces remain unseen, while their talent leaves an unforgettable mark on film history. Alvin Ailey. Alvin Ailey transformed modern dance into a powerful celebration of African American history, faith, resilience, and hope. Born in Rogers, Texas, in 1931, during the Great Depression, Ailey experienced racial segregation and economic hardship throughout his childhood. Those early memories later became the emotional foundation of many of his greatest choreographic works. After moving to Los Angeles as a teenager, he discovered dance and trained under renowned choreographer Lester Horton. When Horton died unexpectedly in 1953, Ailey assumed leadership responsibilities far earlier than expected, displaying remarkable artistic maturity. In 1958, he founded the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, a company dedicated to showcasing the beauty, strength, and diversity of African American culture through modern dance. The company would eventually perform in more than 70 countries, becoming one of America's greatest cultural ambassadors. Among Ailey's many masterpieces, Revelations, first performed in 1960, remains one of the most celebrated dance works ever created. Inspired by African American spirituals and his memories of church services in the South, the performance has been viewed by millions around the world and continues to define his artistic legacy. Throughout his career, Ailey created nearly 80 ballets while mentoring generations of dancers from diverse backgrounds. His influence reached far beyond choreography, opening doors for black performers who had long been excluded from elite dance institutions. During the late 1980s, Ailey's health declined because of complications related to HIV/AIDS. Due to the intense stigma surrounding the disease at that time, his physician publicly announced that he had died from a rare blood disorder rather than AIDS, honoring Ailey's wish for privacy. On December 1, 1989, Alvin Ailey passed away at the age of 58. In the decades since, his company has continued performing worldwide, preserving his vision and inspiring millions through movement, music, and storytelling. Alvin Ailey's life remains a testament to the extraordinary power of art to overcome prejudice, celebrate identity, and unite people across generations. His choreography continues speaking to audiences long after the curtain falls, ensuring that his remarkable legacy will never fade. Bobby DeBarge. Bobby DeBarge possessed one of the most remarkable falsetto voices of the late 1970s and early 1980s, helping shape the sound of modern R&B before personal struggles overshadowed his extraordinary talent. Born Robert Louis DeBarge Jr. in Detroit, Michigan in 1956, he grew up in a large musical family under difficult circumstances. Despite enduring an abusive childhood, Bobby found comfort in music, eventually becoming the lead singer of the group Switch, whose smooth harmonies and sophisticated sound earned major success with hits like There'll Never Be and I Call Your Name. His songwriting and distinctive vocal style influenced countless artists, including younger members of his own family who later formed the successful group DeBarge. Music critics often described Bobby as one of the finest falsetto singers of his generation, but his life behind the spotlight became increasingly complicated. As fame grew, Bobby struggled with severe cocaine addiction, legal problems, and financial instability, all of which gradually damaged both his career and personal relationships. During the late 1980s, his health deteriorated dramatically after he contracted HIV. At a time when AIDS carried enormous stigma, Bobby largely kept his illness private while continuing to battle addiction and declining physical strength. Friends and family later recalled that although he endured tremendous suffering, he remained deeply passionate about music and hoped to rebuild his life. His final years were marked by repeated hospitalizations and serious health complications as the disease progressed. On August 16, 1995, Bobby DeBarge died at the age of 39 from complications related to AIDS. His death represented another heartbreaking loss during an era when HIV/AIDS claimed the lives of many gifted performers far too early. Although his career never reached the heights many believed possible, Bobby's influence remains unmistakable. His falsetto inspired generations of R&B vocalists, while his songwriting continues to be appreciated by musicians and fans alike. Today, Bobby DeBarge is remembered not only for his extraordinary voice, but also as a tragic reminder of how addiction, illness, and personal hardship can interrupt even the brightest careers. His music, however, continues to preserve the remarkable talent that illness could never erase. Jermaine Stewart. Jermaine Stewart became one of the most recognizable voices of 1980s pop and R&B through his unmistakable style, infectious energy, and unforgettable stage presence. Born in Columbus, Ohio in 1957, Stewart moved to Chicago before eventually settling in Los Angeles, where his entertainment career began as a professional dancer. He appeared regularly on Soul Train, performing alongside many of the era's biggest stars before transitioning into singing. His breakthrough came in 1986 with the international smash hit "We Don't Have to Take Our Clothes Off," a song that reached the top 5 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became an enduring anthem promoting romance built on respect rather than pressure. Additional hits such as Jody and Say It Again further established him as one of the decade's most stylish performers, admired for both his elegant fashion and smooth vocal delivery. Behind the success, however, Stewart faced enormous personal challenges during a period when openly gay Black entertainers often encountered discrimination within the music industry. Although he remained private about much of his personal life, those close to him later acknowledged that he was gay. During the early 1990s, Stewart's health began declining after contracting HIV. As AIDS continued devastating the entertainment world, he quietly battled the illness while remaining committed to music whenever his strength allowed. Friends remembered his optimism, professionalism, and determination despite increasingly serious medical complications. Rather than seeking sympathy, Stewart preferred allowing audiences to remember him for his music rather than his illness. On March 17, 1997, Jermaine Stewart died at the age of 39 from liver cancer associated with AIDS-related complications. His passing shocked fans who remembered the vibrant performer whose music had once dominated radio stations around the world. Although his commercial success lasted only a few years, his influence remains significant. His songs continue appearing in films, television programs, and nostalgic playlists celebrating the music of the 1980s. Today, Jermaine Stewart is remembered not only as an exceptional singer but also as an artist whose courage, talent, and grace endured despite one of the most devastating public health crises of the 20th century. His remarkable voice continues reminding listeners that genuine artistry never fades with time. Marlon Riggs. Marlon Riggs transformed documentary filmmaking by giving voice to stories that mainstream America had long ignored. Born in Fort Worth, Texas in 1957 and raised in several military communities, Riggs developed an early fascination with history, journalism, and social justice. After graduating from Harvard University and earning a master's degree in journalism from the University of California, Berkeley, he began creating documentaries that challenged audiences to confront issues of race identity, sexuality, and representation. Rather than producing traditional historical films, Riggs blended interviews, poetry, music, personal reflection, and experimental visual techniques into emotionally powerful works that forever changed non-fiction storytelling. His groundbreaking documentaries including Tongues Untied, Color Adjustment, and Ethnic Notions remain among the most influential explorations of Black identity ever produced for American television. Released in 1989, Tongues Untied became a landmark film because it openly explored the lives and experiences of Black gay men during a period when their voices were rarely represented in mainstream media. The documentary received widespread critical acclaim while also generating intense political controversy, particularly over public funding for the arts. Rather than retreating from criticism, Riggs defended artistic freedom and continued creating challenging, deeply personal work. Throughout these years, he was also living with HIV. Instead of hiding his diagnosis, Riggs incorporated his own experiences into his filmmaking, transforming personal illness into powerful testimony about resilience, prejudice, and survival during the AIDS epidemic. Even as his health steadily declined, Riggs continued directing the documentary Black Is, Black Ain't, determined to complete one final artistic statement examining the diversity of Black identity. He died on April 5, 1994, at the age of 37 from complications related to AIDS before the film was finished. Friends and collaborators completed the documentary using his notes and recorded interviews preserving his final vision. Today, Marlon Riggs is celebrated as one of America's greatest documentary filmmakers. His extraordinary courage, intellectual brilliance, and artistic innovation continue inspiring filmmakers, scholars, and activists around the world, proving that powerful storytelling can challenge prejudice and preserve truth for generations to come. Willie Ninja revolutionized dance, fashion, and LGBTQ+ culture by bringing the underground art of ballroom voguing to international audiences. Born William Roscoe Leake in New York City in 1961, he developed an early fascination with movement, fashion, and self-expression, despite growing up with limited financial resources. During the late 1970s and 1980s, Ninja became one of the most celebrated performers within New York's ballroom scene, where Black and Latino LGBTQ+ communities created spaces of acceptance, creativity, and family during a time of widespread discrimination. As founder of the legendary House of Ninja, he trained generations of performers while perfecting the graceful, precise dance style known as voguing. His extraordinary flexibility, elegance, and attention to detail earned him the title the grandfather of Vogue. International recognition arrived with the release of the groundbreaking 1990 documentary Paris is Burning, which introduced ballroom culture to audiences around the world. Ninja quickly became one of the film's breakout stars, admired for both his charisma and his remarkable artistry. His growing reputation led to collaborations with leading fashion designers, choreographers, and models, allowing him to teach runway movement while helping bridge the gap between underground ballroom culture and mainstream fashion. His influence could later be seen throughout pop culture, inspiring artists, dancers, and performers for decades to come. Like many members of the ballroom community, Willie Ninja was deeply affected by the HIV/AIDS epidemic. Despite living with HIV, he remained committed to mentoring young dancers and preserving ballroom culture for future generations. On September 2, 2006, Willie Ninja died at the age of 45 from heart failure associated with AIDS-related complications. Although his life ended too soon, his legacy has only continued to grow. Today, ballroom culture enjoys worldwide recognition, and voguing has become an internationally celebrated dance form. Much of that success can be traced back to Willie Ninja's extraordinary vision, discipline, and creativity. His remarkable journey demonstrates that authentic self-expression possesses the power to transform an overlooked community into a global cultural movement whose influence continues inspiring millions today. Franklin Seals possessed a natural charisma that made him one of television's most promising young actors during the 1980s. Born in St. Vincent and the Grenadines in 1952, before moving to the United States, Seals developed a passion for acting while studying drama at the State University of New York. His talent quickly earned him roles in theater, television, and film, where audiences appreciated both his commanding screen presence and emotional depth. He became widely recognized for portraying Dexter Stuffins on the popular sitcom Silver Spoons, while additional appearances in series such as Hill Street Blues, The Highwayman, and other television productions demonstrated his versatility. At a time when opportunities for Black actors remained limited, Franklin steadily built a respected career through determination, professionalism, and genuine talent, earning admiration from colleagues throughout the entertainment industry. Behind the scenes, however, Seals was facing a devastating health crisis. During the late 1980s, he contracted HIV, a diagnosis surrounded by enormous stigma and misunderstanding at the time. Like many performers of that era, he chose to keep much of his illness private while continuing to work whenever possible. As his health declined, professional opportunities became increasingly limited and he gradually stepped away from the spotlight. Friends remembered him as an optimistic individual who remained committed to acting despite enormous physical challenges. Rather than allowing bitterness to define his final years, Seals focused on maintaining his dignity while quietly battling the disease that had already claimed the lives of many talented artists. Franklin Seals died on May 14, 1990 at the age of 37 from complications related to AIDS. His passing came just as public awareness of the epidemic was beginning to grow, reminding Hollywood that HIV/AIDS was affecting gifted performers across every area of entertainment. Although his career ended far too soon, his work continues introducing new audiences to a gifted actor whose potential was never fully realized. Today, Franklin Seals is remembered not only for memorable television performances, but also as one of the many artists whose promising future was cut tragically short by one of the 20th century's most devastating health crises. Fela Kuti. Fela Anikulapo Kuti was far more than a musician. He was a revolutionary whose fearless voice challenged corruption, dictatorship, and injustice across Africa. Born in Abeokuta, Nigeria, in 1938, Fela came from an influential family deeply involved in education and political activism. After studying music in London, he returned to Nigeria and created Afrobeat, an entirely new musical style combining jazz, funk, traditional African rhythms, and powerful political messages, with classics such as Zombie, Water No Get Enemy, Shakara, and Sorrow, Tears, and Blood. Fela became one of Africa's greatest cultural icons. His lyrics openly criticized military governments, police brutality, and political corruption, making him both a beloved hero among ordinary citizens and a constant target of government harassment. Throughout his life, he endured arrests, imprisonment, violent raids, and censorship, but refused to silence his message. By the mid-1990s, Fela's health had deteriorated significantly after years of intense touring and personal struggles. On August 3, 1997, his brother Dr. Olikoye Ransom Kuti publicly announced that Fela had died from complications related to AIDS at the age of 58. The announcement shocked many fans because Fela himself had repeatedly rejected the idea that HIV caused AIDS, making the public confirmation particularly controversial. His death sparked nationwide mourning in Nigeria, where an estimated 1 million people lined the streets of Lagos to pay their final respects during one of the largest public funerals in the country's history. Even in death, Fela remained a symbol of resistance and cultural pride. Today, Fela Kuti's influence extends far beyond Africa. Afrobeat continues inspiring musicians around the world, while artists from jazz, hip-hop, rock, and pop frequently acknowledge his groundbreaking contributions. His music remains as politically relevant today as it was decades ago, reminding listeners that art can become a powerful weapon against oppression. Although illness ended his life, it never diminished the extraordinary legacy of a man whose fearless voice continues speaking truth to power across generations. Larry Riley. Larry Riley was a gifted actor whose warm personality and commanding performances earned him widespread respect in television, film, and theater. Born in Memphis, Tennessee in 1952, Riley discovered his love for acting while studying at Memphis State University before continuing professional training in New York. His dedication to the craft led to numerous stage productions, eventually opening doors in Hollywood. Riley became best known for portraying Frank Patterson, the loyal chauffeur and trusted friend of the Ewing family, on the long-running primetime drama Knots Landing. His calm presence, emotional performances, and natural chemistry with fellow cast members made him a favorite among viewers throughout the late 1980s and early 1990s. Beyond television, Riley also appeared in films and theatrical productions, earning admiration for his professionalism and quiet determination. Behind the cameras, however, Riley was fighting a private battle. During a period when HIV/AIDS remained surrounded by fear and misinformation, he contracted the virus and gradually developed AIDS-related complications. Like many actors of his generation, Riley chose to keep much of his illness out of the public spotlight, preferring to protect his privacy while continuing to work for as long as possible. As his health declined, he stepped away from acting, leaving many fans unaware of the serious challenges he faced. Friends later remembered his courage, generosity, and refusal to let illness define his identity even during his most difficult moments. Larry Riley died on June 6, 1992, at the age of 39 from AIDS-related illness. His passing represented another heartbreaking loss during an era when countless talented performers saw their careers interrupted by the epidemic. Although his life ended much too soon, Riley's work continues, reaching new audiences through reruns and streaming services. Today, he is remembered not only as a talented actor, but also as a compassionate individual whose quiet strength inspired those who knew him personally. His story reminds us that behind every familiar television face is a human being whose private struggles often remain unseen and whose legacy deserves to be remembered with dignity, respect, and gratitude. Max Robinson. Max Robinson broke barriers that once seemed impossible, becoming one of the most influential pioneers in American broadcast journalism. Born in Richmond, Virginia in 1939, Robinson entered television news during a period when black journalists faced enormous discrimination and limited opportunities. Early in his career, some television stations even refused to show his face while he delivered the news, allowing viewers to hear only his voice because executives feared audience reactions to a black anchor. Rather than surrendering to prejudice, Robinson persevered through determination, professionalism, and extraordinary journalistic skill. His perseverance eventually led to history in 1978 when he became the first black anchor of ABC World News Tonight, sharing the desk with Frank Reynolds and Peter Jennings. That achievement marked a turning point in American television, opening doors for generations of journalists who followed. Despite his groundbreaking success, Robinson's personal life became increasingly difficult during the 1980s. Years of heavy smoking damaged his health, and he was later diagnosed with HIV, a condition that carried tremendous social stigma during that era. As AIDS-related complications developed, Robinson withdrew from public life while continuing to value his privacy. Although many details surrounding his illness remained confidential, his death highlighted the devastating reach of the HIV/AIDS epidemic, which affected people across every profession and background. Throughout his career, colleagues remembered Robinson for his sharp intellect, commanding voice, and unwavering commitment to truthful reporting despite the discrimination he experienced. Max Robinson died on December 20, 1988, at the age of 49 from AIDS-related complications. His passing ended a remarkable career that had permanently changed American journalism. Today, Robinson is remembered not only as a trailblazing news anchor, but also as a courageous pioneer who challenged racial barriers with dignity and excellence. His historic achievements continue inspiring young journalists, proving that talent, integrity, and perseverance can overcome even the most deeply rooted obstacles. Long after his final broadcast, Max Robinson's legacy remains a powerful reminder that true leadership is measured not only by professional success, but by the paths opened for those who come after. Philly Lutaya. Philly Bongoley, Lutaya, was more than one of Uganda's greatest musicians. He became one of Africa's earliest and most courageous public voices in the fight against HIV/AIDS. Born in Kampala, Uganda in 1951, Lutaya discovered his passion for music while still a teenager and quickly established himself as a gifted singer-songwriter and bassist. During the 1970s and 1980s, he performed with several popular East African bands before launching a successful solo career that earned him international recognition. His smooth vocals, thoughtful lyrics, and ability to blend African rhythms with contemporary pop made him one of the continent's most respected recording artists. Songs such as Alone and Frightened, Born in Africa, and numerous Luganda language hits earned him a devoted following throughout East Africa. At the height of his career, few imagined that he would soon become the face of one of the world's most devastating public health crises. In 1989, after learning he was living with HIV, Lutaya made an extraordinary decision that changed African history. Instead of hiding his diagnosis, he publicly announced that he had AIDS, becoming one of the first major African celebrities to do so. At a time when fear, misinformation, and stigma surrounded the disease, his honesty shocked the public but also inspired compassion and awareness. He returned to Uganda determined to educate people about HIV prevention, traveling across the country to encourage testing, safer behavior, and understanding for those living with the virus. His courage transformed him from a music star into a national health advocate whose message saved countless lives. Willie Lutaya died on December 15, 1989, at the age of 38 from AIDS-related complications only months after publicly sharing his diagnosis. Although his life ended far too soon, his influence remains extraordinary. Today, he is remembered not only as a gifted musician, but also as a fearless humanitarian who chose truth over silence. His remarkable legacy continues inspiring HIV awareness campaigns across Africa, proving that one person's courage can educate an entire generation and leave an impact far greater than fame alone. Willi Smith. Willi Smith revolutionized American fashion by proving that stylish clothing could be accessible, practical, and designed for everyday life rather than exclusive luxury. Born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in 1948, Smith displayed exceptional artistic talent from an early age before studying commercial art and fashion design. In 1976, he founded Willi Lutaya, a fashion company built on the revolutionary idea that high-quality designer clothing should be available to ordinary people at affordable prices. Long before streetwear became a global phenomenon, Smith combined casual sportswear with sophisticated tailoring, creating collections that appealed to people of every race, profession, and social background. His innovative vision helped reshape American fashion during the late 1970s and 1980s, making him one of the most influential black designers in history. Unlike many designers who focused solely on elite fashion houses, Smith believed clothing should reflect real life. His collections celebrated diversity, individuality, and comfort, while embracing multicultural influences from art, music, architecture, and street culture. Willi expanded into one of the most successful American fashion brands of its era, reportedly generating annual sales exceeding 25 million at its peak. Beyond commercial success, Smith collaborated with dancers, filmmakers, photographers, and visual artists, breaking down barriers between fashion and contemporary art. His creativity inspired future generations of designers who viewed clothing as both functional and culturally meaningful. During the mid-1980s, Smith's health began declining due to complications related to HIV/AIDS. At a time when the disease carried enormous stigma, few public details about his illness were disclosed. On April 17, 1987, Willi Smith died at the age of 39 from AIDS-related pneumonia. His passing shocked the fashion industry, cutting short the career of a visionary whose influence was still expanding. Decades later, historians continue recognizing Smith as one of the architects of modern American fashion. His pioneering ideas about inclusive design, affordable style, and cultural diversity remain remarkably relevant today. Willi Smith's extraordinary career reminds us that genuine innovation is measured not only by commercial success, but by the lasting ability to change how people see themselves and the world around them. Kiki Gyan. Kiki Gyan was one of Ghana's most gifted musicians, rising to international fame at a remarkably young age before experiencing a heartbreaking personal decline. Born Kiki Gyan in Takoradi, Ghana, in 1956, he demonstrated extraordinary musical talent from childhood, mastering keyboards and developing a passion for funk, soul, jazz, and African rhythms. At just 17 years old, he joined the legendary Afro-rock group Osibisa, becoming one of the youngest members ever to perform with the internationally acclaimed band. Touring across Europe, North America, and Africa, Gyan played before massive audiences and contributed to albums that introduced African music to listeners around the world. His energetic performances and remarkable keyboard skills earned widespread respect, establishing him as one of Ghana's brightest musical stars during the 1970s. After leaving Osibisa, Gyan pursued a solo career while living in London. Although he continued recording music and collaborating with other artists, the pressures of fame, financial difficulties, and substance abuse gradually affected both his health and career. During the 1990s, he was diagnosed with HIV, a devastating blow during a period when effective treatment remained limited in many parts of the world. As his condition worsened, Gyan became increasingly isolated from the international spotlight that had once celebrated his talent. Despite personal struggles, fellow musicians continued recognizing his extraordinary contributions to African popular music and his role in helping Osibisa achieve worldwide success. Kiki Gyan died on June 5, 2004 at the age of 48 from complications related to AIDS. His passing marked the end of a remarkable musical journey that had begun with extraordinary promise decades earlier. Although younger audiences may be less familiar with his name today, his influence remains deeply respected among African musicians and music historians. Kiki Gyan's life serves as both an inspiring story of exceptional talent and a sobering reminder of how HIV/AIDS affected artists across the globe. His legacy lives on through the timeless recordings he created with Osibisa and through the enduring impact he made on African contemporary music, ensuring that his remarkable artistry will never be forgotten. As we reach the end of this journey, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. These remarkable black icons were not defined by HIV, they were defined by their courage, talent, and the lives they changed forever. Their final years revealed heartbreaking struggles, but they also exposed extraordinary resilience, reminding us that compassion is always stronger than fear, and that no illness can erase a lasting legacy. Now we want to hear from you. Which story touched your heart the most, and whose legacy do you believe deserves far greater recognition today? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to Golden Black Legends and turn on notifications so you never miss another inspiring story, celebrating the lives, triumphs, and enduring legacies of Black history's greatest icons.